Good afternoon, students. Welcome for another session of French family cooking. Today I'm going to present you a tarte pâtissière avec crème pâtissière. It's a summer tart with some crème pâtissière underneath the fruits. Now, this is the season of strawberries. I've prepared my strawberries. You see, I've even done some jam yesterday. Use a lot your summer fruits for this kind of tart. You have a choice. It could be cherries, strawberries, blueberries, even some canned peaches will be absolutely perfect. Yesterday I made this one with peach cans. Okay, let's start. Okay, so as you have seen, this tart has three kinds of preparation. Number one, you clean your fruits and put them aside. Number two, we are going to make a dough, a sugary dough that we are going to blind bake. That's why you're going to need those beads. And we are going to do separately a crème pâtissière, for which you will need some very rich milk. So I really insist on that. Take the most expensive, richer one if you can, because the crème pâtissière will be even better. And let's start with the dough now, because the dough has to rest 1 to 2 hours after we have made it. Okay, so as you will read in the comments, you will need 250 grams of flour that you are placing here in a circle, 100 grams of icing sugar that you are mixing with your flour, putting it on top. You're going to place your salt together, and then you are going to place your butter that is a bit soft in the middle. 100 grams of butter. Choose always a good butter, don't go cheap on butter. Now you also have 2 egg yolks that we will add to the dough in a few minutes. So first I am mixing my butter with the sugar and the flour. Yeah, I'm going to place now my first egg.
Good.
Okay, now I'm going to add my second egg. Okay, so you see that beautiful dough? Look at that. Look how wonderful, silky it can be. So you are placing it in your plastic, yes, for 1 to 2 hours. I'm going to give you a little secret. One day I froze the dough to reuse it a few weeks later. I had never seen such a wonderful dough. So you can freeze it and reuse it later. It will be even better. Okay, now I'm going to teach you how to make the crème pâtissière. Alors, crème pâtissière is at the base of all the fruit tarts in France. Under the fruits, you always have a crème pâtissière, which is a kind of a vanilla custard for you. What do you want to do? You want to heat up your milk in a pan with some vanilla pot. And then we are going to mix to that hot milk some 6 yolks that we will have mixed with sugar, flour and maize. Yes, so you are going to mix all those and heat it up, and this is going to make your crème pâtissière. So let's start now first by breaking 6 eggs, separating the white from the yolk, and I'm going to gather in my big bowl the 6 yolks. Here we go. Oil. So now you are going to add to your 6 egg yolks the sugar. You are going to use 1/3 of that 100 grams, okay? I am going to add the 20 grams of flour. You see the nice mix that you have? here, okay? Look at that, how nice it is, how it's like a ribbon, all right? So this stays here because you are going to add to it the hot milk. Let's start the milk now. So now you are using some vanilla pod for the crème patissière. I prefer to use the vanilla pod. I know that they are very expensive right now, so what you can do is use that vanilla extract. I'm going to extract from the vanilla pod the vanilla seeds, and I'm going to place them. I'm going to extract my vanilla seeds from the vanilla pod. You see that beautiful black vanilla? This is absolutely gorgeous. It's going to make your cream smell so well. So I take my milk, 500 milliliters of milk that I place in the pan. You remember the 2/3 of the sugar? I'm placing them in the pan, and I am going to place, here's the vanilla that I'm placing in the milk, but as I also want the rest of the taste to go in, I'm placing the vanilla pod, and I'm going to heat up that milk to 60 degrees. Don't go over 60 degrees. All right, so I have reached 60 on my thermometer, and I'm going to stop the milk. Now, I take my milk, and be very careful. Now that's a dangerous operation. You have your egg with sugar and flour here. If I place the hot milk inside, it's going to create some omelette. So you want to mix at the same time as you add the milk. So be very careful. It's going to make some noise. Now it's all right, it hasn't turned into omelette, but I want to avoid making some foam, so I'm going to do the rest with the hand whisk, so it's going to be less foamy, because you don't want the foam in the cream, okay? Now, so let's go back again in the pan. We are going to return the cream on the gas. Now, what I'm going to do is add a little component that I have not showed you before. I'm going to add the liqueur, the cherry liqueur called kirsch. In France, we use this kirsch a lot for pastry. It brings an amazing smell to your cream. I'm going to put a little bit. However, so what's going to happen right now is that the flour and the corn flour are going to make the cream very thick, and that's what we want to place on top of our pastry in a few minutes. Okay, that's the crème patissière being made right now. Okay, look at the cream now. Look at how beautiful it is. Do you see the little black dots of the vanilla? And you look at the cream, it's doing pot, 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 pot. Yes, so you know that your cream is on the right track when it's doing that sound like this. Pot, 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 pot. Okay, so you are going to turn off the gas. Now your cream is ready. You are going to turn off the gas, and you are going to place some plastic on top. Here we go. Quickly, some cling film on top of your cream, so that it doesn't become, voila, so that the a hard skin doesn't create on top. Okay, I'm gonna place a little bit more. Now in the meantime, I'm going to take care of my dough. So I have my sugary dough that I took out of the fridge after 2 hours. I place it here, and now I'm going to prepare the mold. I am going to butter the mold, And I will place some flour as well so that the dough can come out of the mold easier. Okay, ready. Okay, so now I place the mold away and I'm taking the dough. Look at how beautiful it is. It's shiny, it's velvety, look at that. Now I've floured my table, my clean table, I've floured it, and I'm going to my rolling pin, and on my rolling pin I'm going to place some flour as well, and I'm going to flatten my dough. So you always look at the size of your dough compared to the size of your mold. Okay, so I'm going to place my dough on the top of my rolling pin. Okay, so that it doesn't break. I don't want to tear my dough, it's so beautiful. And I'm going to place it on top of, all right, you want the dough to really go inside and make sure that it is sticking to the sides. Okay, so now the excess of the dough, you have two ways. Either you go like this with your rolling pin, but I'm going to show you a different way that I didn't show you last time. So you be careful, you do like that. Now I want, you see, if I place my cream in here, the dough is never going to cook. You want to cook the dough without the cream. So what do? You blind bake. What do? You take a piece of paper, squash it first. This is a baking paper, okay? Squash it. Have it go inside the dough. Place some beads that you will have bought. You can. Now I'm going to place this in my oven for 10-15 minutes until it is cooked, and then I will take away the beads and I will cook 5 more minutes to cook the bottom. All right, let's place it in the oven. Okay, so I am going to take the pie out of the oven. Be very careful, huh? It's very hot. I'm going to place it here. I'm going to take away the beads. Be very careful. Voila. I'm seeing my beads here. Slowly, because they are very hot. You see the outside of my pie is now cooked. The inside is still a bit whitish, so just well, maybe 3-5 minutes in your oven. Again, we are now taking the pie out completely. Here we are. Now I'm going to let it rest for a few minutes, and I'm going to take that cream that we had before. You remember? All right, so I'm taking away the plastic from the crème patissière, and because a little bit of a skin has formed at the top on the sides, I'm going to use my whisk. You see? Here we are, that beautiful cream patissière. I'm going to now place it on top of my pie waiting. Here we are. Okay, here we are. Now I'm going to place at the top, as I said, you can prepare some fruits of season or some canned fruits. I am going to place my strawberries, which I've washed. So I make sure that I'm using all the spaces and that my fruits are really nice, because it's very important to make a tart look good. Huh? We say in French that ça donne de l'appétit. It gives appetite. That's it. This is my tart. Okay. Now we are going to add one little thing. I'll show you. It's a little secret. Okay, the little secret is that your tart wants to be glazed so that it looks shiny and beautiful. How do you do that? You take some apricot jam. You are going to place some in a pan. Oh, I have enough. That amount is enough. And you are going to heat it up on the gas. You wait until it becomes liquid. It's not going to take long. You know, I'll tell you a little secret. Sometimes I squash it completely into an apricot sauce with my electric mixer so that I don't have any big bits anymore. Okay, it's over now. It's hot enough. I'm going to use my pastry brush and I'm going to place some of that hot apricot sauce on top of my strawberries. Well, look at how shiny my pie is. Do you see the difference when I have applied the apricot jam? And look at that one that I showed you before. It was dull. Now I have applied that little coating of apricot. Look how beautiful it looks now. Okay, so you see, it's not too difficult. It's just lengthy, but it's not difficult steps. And you have a wonderful French pie that your family will love. So please do it. Try, and bon appetit with your beautiful strawberry pie.